come on, we might not have been to America before, but we watched
movies.
You see the kind of houses they are pricing. You see houses here to tell you $2 million. I wonder where is the $1 million? They're not telling you because of the land. What's in the land? Your land that floods when it's raining. Make it make sense. You are using the same $1.5 million house in South Africa.
Yeah,
it is a mansion. Make it make sense, and let it have the value.
It's the big conversation.
welcome back to the show. Trust me, there's a lot going on behind the scenes because we're eager to talk about this topic. But at this point, it's not just about paying rent anymore. It's everything that comes with it. Caution fee, maintenance fee, service charge, inspection fee, agent's fee. We've not even added rent. You are literally paying for the house and then paying again just to exist inside it. And if you've been on social media lately, you'd see the stories. People sharing listings of 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom apartments going for millions. Then you look closely and then you see that the kitchen is practically sharing space with the toilet. The space is tight, the finishing is poor, and you're left wondering, what exactly am I paying for? Then you now add landlord wahala to the mix. Unnecessary rules, sudden increases in rent, and zero accountability. And it starts to feel like decent housing is no longer a basic need, but a luxury. You need to breathe for this one. So the question is decent housing now a luxury in Nigeria? Because with the way we're going like this, if you don't have a house, it's now a Herculean task to find housing in Nigeria. Over the past couple of weeks, I've seen a number of people share, their experience house hunting. People are house hunting for 8 months, 6 months, and then they're sharing videos of 2-bedroom apartments, 16 million, 15 million. I thought it was a lie until I saw it myself. So where is the problem now? Is it the landlords setting the unrealistic rent, or is it the government that has failed to provide adequate housing for people? That's my first question.
Okay, so I think that's what I was saying behind the scenes, said that it has not always been like that.
Like this.
So I think the issue more is because of the economy, and there's some things that have now escalated, and there's a lot of focus on, which is real estate, land, housing. And that's why Ibadan is suffering it too now, because Lagos is now quite saturated. So a lot of people are now moving to the next big city and then invest. I know for them, as Lagos big boys and girls, this one is affordable. So they are spoiling the agents and the landlords here. But to them, that particular house, wherever they're coming from, probably would have been like 500 million. So if they're asking for 250 million, you're like, they will jump on it. Yeah. So everybody's mouth don't tear. Yeah, and that's where the problem started from like 3 years ago. It wasn't always been like that. It was from like 2021, 2022, I started seeing what's going on. Because before, I remember when we first moved here and we needed to rent a place for a bit. We were in Jericho. And the house was a 4-bed. We were alone on like 1,000 square meters with land, landscape, beautiful. It was like 1.3 million. This was 2017.
To rent or buy?
Rent. 1.3 million a year, but that covered service charge, covered security, covered.
It covered service charge?
Covered security, covered whatever. But I don't know. I don't want to say what I don't know, but I know that in that area, I don't know for that house particularly, because we're not there anymore. In that area now, the minimum rent is about 10 million.
It's Jericho now.
For a year.
It's Jericho.
So 2017 to 2026. That's not the same.
That's a little bit because if you want to bring that house now, it probably will be going for maybe 4-bedroom rent, maybe at least that same 10 million. Then you will not see service charge. You see service charge of 2.5. You get it now. Then when you want to go and look at the house, you are going to give the agent what agent fee, and you're going to want to pay what inspection fee. You get it now.
So you know what? To be honest, because as a service provider, I understand the inspection fee, because I love NFAs that are bored and will carry you one more places.
Very true.
You're spending your fuel.
Very true.
So it's good to sort of protect. At least it's going to pay for that data. So I understand the spectrum. It's just like we now as service providers. Oh, a bride wants to consult, and then somebody you talk all your truth to the bride.
Let me for it
ourselves and say, you know what, for consultation, I'll charge some sort of amount, just so in case you don't go ahead with me. At least I've not totally lost out. So inspection fee, I don't see why an agent is collecting 10%. Why you now? You put me for that.
It's a middleman.
20%. It's okay. It's good to. Every laborer deserves their wage.
Yeah.
But the percentage is ridiculous because they're still legal. You forgot to say legal.
Legal,
and that one is important because now lawyer
documents.
Yes. So all those things matter. So. And it's unreal. I hear this same landlord to tell you they don't want single girl. They don't want who can afford your house. They want this one. Your house. The wrong working class. Do banks pay their people that kind of salary?
My sister. The thing is, if we're going to say who is to be blamed, everybody, both the house owners, the agents, the people, the government,
giving them money.
Exactly. So everyone has a part to play in this. Government have refused to provide low-cost houses for us. That's their own part. The landowners, you can't really blame them as a matter of fact.
You can't blame them.
Property, real estate is investment and it appreciates as time.
No, but there's also a place for empathy and ethics. So why would I be renting my place for 5 million? And then, anyways, the tenant that even signed that agreement.
The reason why most of the prices go up is because the cost of materials for house building has increased.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that.
I'm trying to tell you.
I cannot be 5 million 5 years ago, and then the next year, I think you're dropping it from 5 million to 15 million. No, that doesn't make any sense. That's not ethical. It's a crime.
We see, people, say for example,
you can increase by maybe 2 million.
The next year,
3.
This there was someone. What's his name?
Pamileri.
He shared on Twitter how he had a business or he has a business, and he said his landlord increased it. Was it over 600%?
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, "Don't worry, I'm closing down the business. There's no point."
Another reason why they hike these prices is because there is now more demand. This is economics in the market. When there is little supply and there is more demand. Exactly. So do you get it? There are so many people that want this one building.
They can afford
I'll give it to the highest bidder.
So let's go statistically here, okay? With my little knowledge, with my knowledge in real estate, yes, there is currently a 25 million housing deficit in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
So that means we need 25 million houses to solve the housing deficit. Now, of course, ordinarily, the government ought to have basic housing, to provide for the people, but we've not seen them do that. So the construction and real estate, industry is very, very volatile because if cement, over the past few weeks, cement has increased over 3 times.
Yeah.
Right? And the 200 naira increase in cement can run into millions if you're looking at building a particular house. So construction materials, iron that they used to build runs into millions for 16 mm, right? So all of those, just like she mentioned, the materials, are very volatile in prices. So these are things people put into consideration when building houses. And when they now want to sell it, they know that, okay, of course, they've spent the money. They want to recoup
make it
as
back.
much
Exactly.
as possible. And because there is no alternative, it's literally monopolized. So they will charge whatever they want to charge. And there is no issue because there is no alternative. And because there is a housing deficit, people, like you said, moving from Lagos, they just need to find houses. They will not mind paying. But the only, bad side is it's widening the gap between people who cannot afford.
So my issue where what I mentioned about ethics is not about people that are just building. We all know. We all know
the old houses that would increase rent.
They built in 1922. I have now used my money to refurbish the part I want to. You are now telling me that my rent will go up from 2 million to 8 million. Now, are you building the house again?
You got now refurbish it. They are now,
are you building the house again?
That they are increasing. Come on. I mean, after refurbishing. But I think, what I think is that it cuts across every industry in Nigeria. There's no structure anywhere. So people just do whatever it is they like. So that should be, I've watched a few documentaries where they are trying to put structure in what we are discussing now,
Yeah.
maybe the real estate, industry and all that, to see, but they are still having those conversations. But I think it's because there's no structure. Everybody's just doing whatever they think. It's not only in real estate, it's everywhere. Everybody just does whatever they think is right. But if there is a structure and there is a limit that you cannot go beyond this level in charging, even if you're the landlord, and I think those agents are the ones that even worsen the case. Because at times, they even get more money than the landlord.
Yes.
Because if you are not careful, you get more money than the owner of the house. You will not know. They just tell you this is the amount. And because they are interfacing between you and the owner, you don't really know the
And then that's why I like that Scotty Goma vibe. What's his name?
Scotty Goma.
He calls out all those.
Yeah.
Let's think about it now. Come on. We might not have been to America before, but we watch
Movies.
You see the kind of houses they are pricing. You see houses here to tell you $2 million. Yeah, one day, where is the $1 million? They are not telling you because of the land. What's in the land? The land that floods when it's raining. Make it make sense. Meanwhile, you see the same $1.5 million house in South Africa.
Yeah.
It is a mansion. Make it make sense. And let's it have the value.
So I mean, now the big question is, how do people now navigate? Because I think from all we've established, it doesn't look like this is going to be solved anytime soon.
It's
because
not.
It's not going to be. It's not going to be in 2 months that we're going to solve this 25 million deficits. But people are still out there. I mean, thankfully, I've actually not had to go through the hustle and bustle of looking for a house hunting, because I mean, when we grew up, now we be landlord. Now I was literally I'm a land child, right? So when people used to carry out the beef with landlords, I'm like, wait, now it's not like that, because sometimes it is the tenants that sometimes influence some of these rules. We've had tenants that would come late in the night. They are bringing men, if it's a lady, bringing men. They're playing loud music outside, and it's close, so it's quiet, and everybody is pointing towards us like, why are you making so much noise? So some of these rules are usually birthed out of experience. I'm like, maybe we should calm down with landlords and all of that, right? But I mean, there are people who, like myself, will not have experienced house hunting issues. I'm not seeing $6 million houses because I mean, I don't really have to. Thank God for my life. Not everybody might have that privilege. So, I mean, people who are probably young, they're out of school, out of NYSC, they need to find a house, right? So, how do, I mean, so which way really?
For me is that I've, all the places are rented. When I have the opportunity to actually go directly to the owner,
okay,
I always have that place of negotiating the price and all that. And they are very reasonable. But once there is agent in between, there's a problem. Like my agent just suddenly came, all the service charge from one, maybe we're paying maybe 10,000 or 15,000 inside our compound to clean. Then I took it to like 150,000. I said, excuse me. And out to the landlady, I went straight to her. I said, I'm sorry, ma'am, this is not going to happen. I'm going to coordinate this. Please, can the agent please just step out of this so that we can, find. And we found a way around it, security and cleaning and everything. I made sure that I'm the one coordinating the whole thing. So don't come and charge us. I say, you're very lucky. So each and every one of us going to pay 150, 154 where. Yes, that's how the union came up.
And you're very, very lucky. Going to the agents.
Yes, she will now go to the agent. And I told the madam, I said, no, ma. It's not going to happen. Not on my watch. So she said, anything you want to do. So I know that it is. So at times, those agents actually influence all these things.
Absolutely.
Abigail, I know you moved spaces recently.
My sister, it was a terrible experience.
Honestly, tell me.
I moved to Mokola, room and parlor.
Where were you moving from?
I was moving from a self-con in Bodija.
Okay. Why did you leave?
Because of distance to work, and also the landlord was giving us just like you said, nothing happened in the house, no renovation was done, and price went up, and I'm like, why should I pay you for that? So I had to go and look for a place. A room and parlor, 1.2 in Mokola. 1.3. That was what I paid. Total package. Now the house yearly rent is 850. Total package.
You can just imagine.
It was a terrible experience for me. You see this real estate business, I'm going to go into it. I think yes. It is something you need to invest. This and guess what? It's not going to change anytime soon. It's going to keep increasing because real estate is designed
right now. That is where the
that's where the juice.
I think the only thing I would say is let's also have fear of God. You're doing this thing. Yes, everybody wants to make money, and the problem is when people see that you can get money from this thing, they abuse it because truly there is no reason for you to increase rent sporadically when there is no even if state of the economy.
I follow Laura Ikeji. I follow her because I mean she's one of the
she was ranting.
She's very honest and realistic.
Yeah.
And she was like, how is she paying that she has 2 shops? One was paying 2 million, now they're asking her for 16.
It doesn't even make any sense.
Too much.
A regular Nigerian now is using 70% of their income
for
rent
rent.
alone. What is left? What can we do for
It has got to become landlords and landladies.
Exactly. I think because if you look at it in the long run,
5 million to 30 million. No,
the
come on.
money
My sister,
that
my
you
goal
want
this
to
is
do
to
rent.
get my own permanent
Buy
space so that I don't have
bush.
to rent anything. That's my goal now.
Yeah.
I must work before next year. I don't want to pay another rent after I'm made up my mind. I'm going
I
to.
love
That's
it.
another way to go. I'm
Love
telling you.
it.
You can't go on
You're
like
gonna
that.
move from being a tenant
Yes,
to being a
please.
landlord.
Yes.
Okay. So rather than even investing, because if you look at it, how much is minimum wage? Right?
Don't even go there.
The 70,000. Then you will not come and see as a self-con, you are seeing house, and this is Ibadan. I have a friend in Lagos that she's still squatting with somebody because the
million.
figures she has
4
seen
million is
for a
ridiculous.
self-con or 1 bed is
How
her
much,
salary
how
cannot
much am I
contain it.
making?
Cannot contain
And you
it.
say I should not go and do arm rubber work? No, really.
So
A
people are
country that
true.
is designed to
It's
push
true.
the people to go and put their hands in
Yeah,
the
things are-
And yet we are also very religious and very judgmental.
God
The girl
will help us.
He has a boyfriend. I don't. So how is she supposed to survive? This community
like,
giving her?
like,
Without what do you call it?
She doesn't have rich parents. She's appealing to the eyes.
Yeah.
Are you not supposed to say what you have, what you use to get what you want?
Exactly.
I know the girl is now trying to hustle. You have not made the economy.
Salary cannot carry the rent.
Exactly.
You know that I said that sometimes is from experience. Do you get it now? So it's unless you have the favor of God shining on your head that you'll be able to, go past a landlord who says they don't want females to still allow you in the house, because like I said, you would have a female, they're coming late in the night, they are coming with men, they are turning the 1-bedroom space that you have to, they're accommodating 6 people, right? Because yes, maybe housing problem or just accommodating 6 people, not realizing that that space can only contain maybe 1 or 2, because you're thinking of water, you're thinking of light, all of those things, but although yes, there are now some landlords who have, extreme what's it called, requirements. I don't know how tribe relates to you not, I think Brown Eye was on the table before, and she shared how literally there is another form of stereotype for tribe. I don't like this tribe, I don't like this complexion, the way is
I don't like your trousers, the way you are dressing. I can't trust.
I mean, it really can just go really crazy. But I mean, now for government, because like we've established, it seems like we don't have basic housing. What is our, I don't want to say advice, but what is our voice saying to the government now, knowing that because private individuals have all of this in their hands, abuse is inevitable? What can the government now do to rectify the situation? Because I don't know if you remember, sometime last year, we shared on the TBC group well, now it was just land, it wasn't, building property, that was shared that the government was doing, and we saw the amount, and we're like, if this is coming from the government, it's still not affordable for the ordinary citizen. Absolutely. So, I mean, what are they supposed to do now?
What I was about to say, that the government is not going to do anything. Instead, I would try and implore, beg big organizations, multinationals, and make it as part of their CSR. Yes, you should take it upon ourselves. We're the ones fixing the roads anyway. Some part of it.
Already.
We can as well add it as part of our CSR and say, okay, as part of our CSR, we've gained a lot from this community, we've gained a lot from the country, we're donating 500 low-cost homes. I think, please, we beg you, because the government is not going to do anything about it. They've been talking about it for years. They've just displaced some people from Makoko in the bid that, okay, they want to do something. Have they sorted those people out? Because there's a difference between displacing people and giving them the soft landing to what they are used to. You can't displace fishermen and put them in the desert. How are they supposed to survive? That's another conversation for another day. But that's my own. So it's weird. Because why this touches me is because in my life, I thought when I was a young child that by 40, I was going to be a philanthropist, and this was on my bucket list. Where I was going to do low-cost housing, attach. I think I've discussed it with you before. Attach solar, and just like this self-con for families. But people will pay something, because the truth is, if you also give people free, people don't appreciate free.
But it needs to be affordable.
It's a token where it's attached to maybe a family of 4, 5, and they can actually manage like a 1 bed. The bedroom is big enough for maybe bunk beds. It's already furnished, and have it, and just there for people to live.
In Kenya.
Yes, CSR is something we need to do because the government is not going to do anything.
It's a vision and you have to do it. I know a young lady in Kenya. She got a grant to do what you just said now, build houses for low-income earners and all that, and fantastic. So it's something you should look at as writing a proposal for and looking for foreign grants that can, they will fund it. They will fund it. So you should look at it because we are the one that will solve our problems. Government is not going to solve this problem.
They won't. Yes, they won't.
Yet again, we'll solve the government's problem for ourselves.
No, we're solving our problem to my dear, because the moment you help those people off the roads, better security for our families and our children. So help them, and then they'll pay it forward. They learn. Of course, I mean, some people they are going to misuse, but there are going to be more people that will. That means that kids have better access to better roof, they can study better, they can become better people in the future. So it just keeps going forward.
Valid.
I think aside just flogging it on the government to create affordable houses for individuals, like you said, individuals too should take the initiative to invest in this, because most people will not want to go into real estate because of instant gratification. They know that it will take time for your money to appreciate. So most Nigerians would rather use that money and put it in places where they can see their money and touch their money. So if more people go into this real estate, the demand and supply would now be at the same level. So I think people should really invest in this, and banks too should make the process of loans.
Yes, because getting housing loans is really not easy, and I don't know how they want
that's
people to do it.
That's why I started by saying it is everyone's collective responsibility. It's not just the government, it's the house owners, it's the banks, it's the people themselves, it's the agents, it's everybody.
Because all these people that we admire abroad, they don't do cash down for anything. The car they are driving, even the holidays, everything is,
and it's a working system. It's a working system. But I mean, just to wrap up, DT had already earlier mentioned, when you start to see the agents asking for funny fees, you start to suspect. That's like one red flag to also know. So like, what are other red flags that we can throw out there for people to also know when you should start suspecting? And because obviously we know that people would try to take advantage of people on this one, especially when they see you're gullible, you're desperate, right? So we've tried to see that you can eliminate agents as much as possible. So what are other, key points or red flags to avoid when house hunting? Just so we're helping that young person out there.
Try and interview the neighbors. Any neighbor you find in that environment. They're the ones that will tell you the real situation of things. Don't go by what the agent has told you. They color anything. They'll call blue, orange. But
it's not far, and
and the thing will be very far.
Anybody ask them casually, might not even be in that company, might be just a nearby woman. All those women that sell sweets or corn, they know everything.
They know it. Just go and meet them, buy something
for them, engage her. You get
exactly, and people should not be so much in a hurry to when they see that desperation. That's what, let me tell you, it happened to me. The first time I came to Ibadan after when I left NYSC, I was looking for a place because I was staying with some of my friends, NYSC friends, and I wanted my own space. I was talking to this, I can never forget Ebenezer. Wherever you are, Ebenezer. He told me he has seen this house, and me, I did not now go and check the place and all of that.
You sent him money.
Straight. My 100K.
Ebenezer.
I can never forget. So people should always take their time to
So how did you recover?
I didn't recover.
Wait, what was the 100K for?
It was like part payment. The house was supposed to be like, was it 160 now, he told me, for the house, the so-called house, that I did not use my eye to see. And he said, I have to make payments because the house is like, everybody's coming.
That's what they always tell you.
I was like, okay, let me just send you 100,000 first. Then when I'm in Ibadan, I'll come and check. I was like, okay, no problem. I sent it to
tomorrow.
Today.
It's number no go again.
Do you know, I did see this guy post.
You don't use and shop catfish.
Ebenezer.
So people should do their research. Don't be in a hurry. And even if you're in a hurry, don't show it to these people because they'll just take advantage of that.
And then another advice I want to give is, must you leave alone? Why don't you stay in your father's house?
I will not stay.
Enjoy your privilege.
I will not stay.
Of the comfort of your
like if you're out of the States.
Your father and mother have siblings.
Okay, so they don't have any siblings or family members.
What I'm just trying to preach is, look, use that opportunity when you are young to leverage on these things to save your money. This is how I see young entrepreneurs who always rush, they don't have shopper. Leverage on the relationships you have, by family, friends, cousins. Most people don't like to do that because they feel that they don't want to be controlled.
They're
They don't want to have
infringing on
conflict.
their,
Do it. Everything
It's for a while.
For a while. Do that until you are standing well, and they can say, okay, I want to do this.
Yes.
Use that as a stopgap. Like for me, if my daughter finishes school, I do expect her to have a home. As
And what if she doesn't want to stay with you? Like, mommy, I'm tired of seeing you.
I'm not tired.
When you see the reality after, you will run back.
We have those kind of conversations.
Yes.
sometimes.
You people are just saying this thing. Any young person you speak to right now would, after NYC, Jackpot.
No, I did not leave. I did not leave.
I enjoyed. I've been looking for a way to be sensitive.
I actually enjoyed staying in my parents' house.
If I'm going to another city, I will make sure I find somebody
Yeah,
that
God
will
bless you, man.
Yes.
In fact, that is what has founded me. Not I aligned them to go to some countries for school. Once I scout the environment,
And there's
no familiar face.
Somebody needs to be.
Yeah, because also there's still a little bit of a control, and you need to.
You need it.
And you will thank them. Now I'm thanking
As a
them.
young child.
I've not had to pay rent once.
Hey, you
Before I
need,
got-
you
I've
need
not
the
had to-
control, you need the guidance. But when you get to a certain age, you also need to experience
Define
what
the
it
certain age.
means.
Define the age.
After NYS,
No,
I think it's not
you want to
too early.
70,000 naira.
It's not too, no, of course, you'll still be sponsoring. You know my mommy. You will give me
I
money
will
now.
give you $40,000.
Okay, so eating food in the house. Don't let us.
We're out of time. We're out of time, but just to cap all we've said, DT said try to eliminate agents because now them be the criminals. Okay. You have mentioned ask from the neighbors. They're the ones that have the actual information. There's a main reason and there's a real reason. So those neighbors, people selling things on around the house, they would also know what is really going on and whether that place is conducive for you. You have mentioned, what did you mention?
Don't show haste.
Don't
Don't
be
be,
desperate.
yes, don't let them sit so that Ebenezer will not carry your 100,000. Your 100,000. And I will just cap it up by saying, when you are now stable, okay, when you're stable, no matter how little, see how you can start to invest in your own real estate. Okay, we
Yes.
have affordable, start from buying land. Now, not because you want to convert the land to a building real quick, but just so you have investment, because we've established that real estate is, it's not the next big thing. It is, a major, yes, past
Let me
years.
tell you a mistake. Me and my index of kin, we have land in Kolakpo Shola.
Yes.
Years ago. I think he sold it. He wanted to do business, he sold it. We had two land.
He sold
it. My sister, do you know how much land is going for now in that place?
But you know that it was
When I
okay to
think
the
about
meter.
I'm like, oh God. We sold it a long time ago when it was not.
So
please,
once
it's
you're
an
stable,
investment.
start to invest. We have
lock it there
many
and,
flexible plans now. Even
Okay.
our students, they make plans that you can every month. You're probably putting in 30K, and in 1 year you are done, and you have a land to your name. And when you need it, that's 100K land you bought is probably worth 3 million or even more over time. So it's been an educative and informative one. Okay, and we've also given you some gems how to spot red flags when you're house hunting. We have our agree or disagree segment up next, so we'll go on a quick break. We'll be right back. We're back on the show. Let's see our statements of the day. We get to agree, disagree, and defend our answer. So let's see today's statement. Nigeria's housing crisis is more about policy failure than population growth. Nigeria's housing crisis is more about policy failure than population growth. Agree or disagree? Agree or disagree?
Let's see that statement.
Okay, agree.
One last time.
Nigeria's housing crisis is more about policy failure than population growth. Agree or disagree? Okay, Diti, I want to start with you.
Yes, so I'm going to agree.
Okay.
Yes, I'm agreeing because, like I said the other time, there's no structure in the industry. And then when there is growth, there should be a plan for scaling, for growth. People are giving back to children. So there's no policy, there's no plan. And when there's no plan for growth, even in your business, when you don't have plan for growth, you are going to have problems. You cannot go on. The business will crash now. You are growing and you are not, you don't have strategy. You don't have, growth strategy and all that. So in Nigeria, generally, all sectors that we don't have proper structure, plan for how to handle expansion, growth and all. So it's the same thing with small businesses. You are growing, you don't have any strategy, expansion plan. The business cannot go anywhere. So the same problem we're having with Nigeria. There's no policy for handling growth. And that is why we can't say people should not give birth, or maybe we'll go to China and say we are having In fact, people are even having 2 children now. It's policy thing. So we don't have, generally for every aspect, we don't really have any plan and policy. So that's what I'm going to say. Thank you.
I will agree with DT too.
Okay,
it's more of a policy thing. If people are increasing and there are no strategic plans for the increasing number, of course there will be a deficit somewhere. So it's more of policy. If we have better strategies, if we have better structures, we would not be at where we are at right now. So I agree with that statement.
Okay. Well, I actually agree because I want to be able to address the population growth. We had given the example of Lagos. Lagos is one of the most populated cities in Nigeria, and that is also the epicenter of high cost of housing, and that is because the demand is high. So they also increase cost. So that I'm addressing how population can be an issue, because if there are a lot of people and there is no housing, it definitely would be a problem. So it is now like a valid reason to give high pricing to the few houses available, even when there is still some policy deficit.
So anything that will help population growth is still a policy. You still need to put a policy.
So yes, policies are not there, but I'm also saying sometimes when there is now a great, like the population is a lot or moving faster than, because Lagos is more populated than a lot of other states, it also is a contributing factor for why there will be the housing crisis. Not just the crisis, but why there is now high pricing or exorbitant pricing, right? Because they are taking advantage of the fact that the population is a lot more than what they can even provide. I don't even know that there's even enough land in Lagos to house, all of the people. So that's the angle for population. That's
I agree with you in a way, but I will still say that whatever it is you are saying, it still goes back to
policy.
We already know there is this problem. So what are we going to do to solve it? Because we don't always have that. You're proactive. You're always reacting.
And we'll send some people away from Lagos. We'll say we'll do some criteria. If you don't have house in Lagos, we'll carry you somewhere else. If you've not lived there for at least 10 years, we'll carry you away. If you don't have a valid source of income,
it's sort of, you're coming up with some,
policies.
Yes. So we don't have anything. So everybody is just doing whatever it is they like.
Or maybe we should allow what the Igbos want. Everybody to your tent or Israel.
To their states.
Yes, everywhere we feel the touch of money and everything. Not that it's just in just a 1, 2, 3 states. Really, if you think about it, if you think about money, you only think about Lagos, Abuja, or maybe Port Harcourt. Meanwhile, there are other states
Those
that
places will also
doing
grow.
well.
They should go there. Those places will also grow. Let them go there. Let everybody go to your tent or Israel.
Please, if everybody to their tent or Israel, DT, where will you be going to?
So follow us.
Ogun. Where will you be going to?
Osun State.
Osun State. Where will you? Okay, Delta State. Me, I will be going to Lagos. We'll be going to Lagos. So, do you still want to defend your answer? You feel
Osun State is buff.
It's not bad. It's a good place. That's where I grew up. I went to school there.
From Lagos, just like the way Ibadan has changed.
Yeah.
The same way. Now all of them are touching money. Oshogbo now. That's Oshogbo.
I've passed.
It's growing.
And me, I'm from Ogun State. So I can even choose. I follow my husband. If it's my own place, and if it's by naturalization, where I grew up and go is Lagos. So it depends on what the policy is, and I accept.
It's still down to policies.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean it's been a very interesting conversation. We've touched on many aspects. We've talked about landlords. We've talked about the importance of policies. We've talked about even the people who are house hunting and what to look out for. But just before we go, let's see our wise words on the web, just so we leave you with more gems. Okay, can you read for us, please, Abigail?
The test of our progress is whether we provide enough for those who have too little. Franklin D. Roosevelt.
And that's why Eben will be working on affordable housing.
Yes, she's gonna
for
do
us.
Yeah.
Soon. By the grace of God, we'll be supporting
We are
you
rooting for
and
you.
looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. Well, at this point, one thing is clear. Rent in Nigeria would keep going up, but of course, just like we've established, it's important for you to start to invest while you can, know the red flags now that we've said it, and for the government, we've advised on policies that can be made. So we're hoping that even if we cannot see affordable housing tomorrow, that there are things being put in place to ensure that it is implemented in the near future. Okay, so renting in Nigeria is not just a financial decision, it's a full survival energy. Now to you watching, we know this conversation doesn't end here. So tell us, what's the craziest rent experience you've had? Are you maybe like Abigail that had an Ebenezer cut with a 100K? Let's know in the comments, and don't forget to follow, share, and keep the conversation going. I'm Osara Nomasaba, and until next time, may your landlord be kind and may your rents not increase unexpectedly. Amen. Well, over here we don't charge rent, so we'll see you on another rent-free episode of The Big Conversation.
It's the big conversation.